Jennifer, do you want to start just the intro about yourself, about the project, and where you were before that? And
sure. Right. I work in blockchain. So I work for the federal government here in Canada. I do integration specifically with small and medium businesses or enterprises. I try and ensure that we can get as many of them accessible and as quickly as possible as blockchain becomes more and more adaptable to regular everyday use. But moreover, I work as the CEO on a DeFi project called VaultDeFi. We do multiple assets, we wrap and peg them, and we are trying our very best to move into cross-chain mixed management. So that's a little bit about me. Thank you for having me tonight.
Yeah, what is the VaultDeFi about? Just
VaultDeFi specifically? Yeah, the community. It's a large community now. We're well up over 12 or 13,000 holders. We just launched another token on Sunday. So we do have a multiple token company that does many different tokenomic based solutions to try and assist with double compounding and different layer systems of tokenomics. We provide
You are breaking up.
Shares, as well as hyper deflationary token systems.
Mm-hmm. Can you repeat last sentence?
Essentially trying our very best.
You are breaking up.
Oh, I'm so sorry. It looks like my internet. Yeah, it's my connection. I apologize to everybody listening. But ideally, we're trying to do as much as we can for flexible commodity investing on our side, trying to keep as many of our investors to have as much access as they can to centralized markets, utilizing wrapped and peg systems with tokens.
Okay, you're basically pegging tokens and utilizing those and making it more flexible investors to use in conjunction with other tokens on your platform, like exchanging and using lending, borrowing, all these things, right?
Lending, borrowing, we have X tokens. That's something kind of unique to us. It allows us to create a secondary liquidity pool for day trading and arbitrage. We do that essentially through our own DApp and DEX systems that we're building at the moment. They're currently in beta, but all 12,000 of our investors are utilizing 3 of our commodities right now for arbitrage. Mm-hmm. We're working really hard and trying to innovate to bring more and more flexibility to investors. And not only that, mainly confidence. I'm trying to assist people in allowing themselves to be able to make more tangible decisions moving forward with the investments that they have. I think a lot of people don't realize that when they open their digital wallets, what in fact they're holding, specifically in the DeFi classes. Most of them have random names and potentially don't have any utility associated with them. They're generally purchased off of social atmosphere, market sentiment that's driven by reasons that maybe aren't going to be long-term and potentially are taking people's money from where it should be going, like projects like your own.
Yep.
Excited to hear what Swapp's all about tonight. I'm excited to hear where Swapp's going.
We'll talk about the Swapp is doing. I'm going to let the third-party independent security audit provider the start of the night to talk about it, huh? Larry,
yeah, I guess I can
introduce yourself,
myself.
please.
Yep.
Larry is from Certik. Certik is providing audit, ensuring that our Swapp protocol is secure and the full ecosystem gets audited. And Larry is very knowledgeable, very interesting friend and persona, and very interesting always to listen to him when he talks about all this, what is going on in the market. He interacts with a lot of people, a lot of companies in this area, and he has much more knowledge. That's what I wanted to bring you guys on board today, to get the community to understand and to learn more from the stories and the recommendations on the security side. Not buy sell recommendation, we are not going to give that, guys, forget. Only how to pick, how to what we need to pay attention when we are looking at any token, and the security standpoint, and what is the good characteristics of the good platform, good protocol, good token means, what we need to. You have great experience, Jennifer, on the, as a marketing, as a community leader, previous projects you worked, and you can talk about, things that you have learned and what people can pay attention. Larry, he has a bunch of experience from hundreds of tokens, different companies. Larry, go ahead, please, and introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name is Larry Lundy. I'm from Certik International. I'm their international operations special projects manager and business development manager for all of the international market, especially Asia Pacific, Eastern Europe, West Coast of the US seaboard, Atlantic seaboard, and pretty much everywhere now. My individual experience is I'm a PhD focus. I'm from Georgetown University. It's an applied intelligence with a focus on cybersecurity and compartmentalized security. I've been working for Certek for quite some time, and as I met Turl through the audit process, and now we've become, I would like to say, great friends, not just industry partners. But for sure, Swapp is an industry partner of ours now, probably growing towards the direction of like our corporate partnerships with like a Binance, Pancake, Aave, OK, Huobi. Those are all of our industry partners. And yeah, Turl has been very responsible with his community's investment in providing the best security possible. And Turl made a very interesting statement about what makes a project good. Well, it's transparency. When companies get an audit, they often get an audit from, I wouldn't call them competitors, but they're just other people that provide audits in the market. They just provide information that you already may know, that and they just say, okay, it's on chain, you need to fix this, maybe you can make some minor changes. But in the case of our business model, especially with Swapp, we've been working with Turl's development team and his engineers on, while the code is pretty raw, we're in beta or in test flight, and we're making changes back and forth via our preliminary report. Many of you may not actually know how our audit process works and why it's much different than anyone else in the space, but especially from my individual BU. One of the big things is we have about 12 engineers that are assigned to my team at all time, and they all of a sudden also become Turl's engineers because we're all over his whole protocol, everything, bridges, exchanges, the DApp, the token itself for the ecosystem. We do everything. So I assign 6 engineers to do the line-by-line audit. We actually do a static line-by-line audit where we go through manually looking at each line. And my other 6 engineers will run with our AI and our parallel chain simulation and pen testing. 6 engineers do that full time. Why do we have so many engineers? Why do I have so many senior engineers? Well, for the sake of to be careful, to be responsible, and to avoid redundancy in language. You may have, out of 1 or 2 human beings might have a bad day and might miss something. But if you have 6 quantifying and qualifying each other engineer's work, it's a good way to avoid small detail cascading failures and to be able to compartmentalize issues early. Is this cost effective? Is this a good business model for most audit houses? No. And quite frankly, they don't have the resources to do it. But again, Turl hasn't spared any expense in making sure that the audit process, along with his engineers, is a continued learning process for both parties. Because again, you have brilliant minds, and when you have so many engineers looking at the same thing, even if it's just a small patch of code, it makes it abundantly better. So after we have the 6 engineers do the line-by-line audit and the AI-aided pen testing audit, then they trade places and, again, QC each other's work. So like I said, this is not a cost-effective way of augmenting resources for audit, but this is what I demand. And myself, we have many BDs, business developers in Certik, but I choose to do my projects this way, and I only co-sign projects that I want to do. I have to let you know that because we're a security company, and I'm not just I'm a corporate officer for the company, I don't assign or attach my name to any projects I feel that are garbage. that have no chance in the market of being legitimate. I just can't attach my name at this point in my career to anything like that. I wouldn't anyways, out of integrity. So I want you to know from a integrity standpoint that the CEO of your project is above and beyond. He has a good understanding of everything that's happening. And for example, our product, when you get on the leaderboard, everything is there. If you get Skynet, everything's there. And you can even ask Jennifer, our other industry expert, good or bad. Skynet and leaderboard shows everything. Your audit, all the updates that have been presented on the audit, governance score, security score, and all the transitory history. Transparency is one of the main pillars of security. And again, we're the only audit house that could provide this type of live security. Hence the reason that we have industry giants like Binance. All the large exchanges require our audit, A, to be listed on larger exchanges, and B, they let us and allow us to run all of their security, both in theoretical security. So we also do theoretical blockchain as well. And as Turtle mentioned to you before, I get to look at thousands of tokens every day because I'm also the head tech writer. Every audit that comes out of the house, if it's questionable, I will go through and manually look at the report language. If it doesn't pass my standards, I'll send it back to the engineer team or to the BU without my stamp of approval. But because Turtle's Swapp and all of the Swapp related projects, and also all of this, for example, Vault related projects are my personal projects, I'm able to spend a little bit more time with all of my different experiences and outlooks on the different approaches to tokenomics and also form and functionality. Another good big part of the security apparatus that we provide is, for example, I was explaining to all of you earlier that when we go through token development, I would like to call it token development because, again, we have it in beta and test flight. We allow ourselves to make, and you can ask Turtle as well, and Jennifer, we actually our engineers give you a way to correct your findings or actually change your code for efficiency and accuracy. For example, burn, anything on ETH is going to be expensive on burn and gas. We try to give our clients streamlined ways to reduce gas and burn costs on all transactions and any kind of functions on the security contract. What does that mean for you as a stake and token holder is that you spend less money to try to make money or to hold money. And it makes everything run better. So I guess that's a few pieces of what I can explain during this AMA. Again, we do, like I said, I want to reiterate that we're not just a security and audit house. We also provide a lot of theoretical research and a lot of different insights because of that. Because again, we are an industry partner with companies like IBM on their experimental blockchain languages. We're a huge and one of the few audit houses that can chart and do example Cosmos or any Cosmos forks or cross-chain forks. I know that we are the only audit house that has done trans-migratory or trans-chain and trans-commodity audits, for example, NFTs going from DeFi into Solana. I do know that, and we are one of the few audit houses that actually has specified teams for Golang, Rust, and Python, and the reverse integration of those different blockchain languages and blockchain sequencings to go across traditional DeFi space. So that's just a small smidgen of what we offer, but I hope that was a
that's very, we can talk a lot more about over the last few weeks and months. As I would say, we have talked a lot of details on how you guys approaching everything else. I can prove one thing. I mean, I have seen a lot of audits, audit reports, not only on ours, but in every different projects. But when I received the audit report preliminary from you, just for the recommendations, everything else, I'm not joking, it was recommendations for others would go by saying, hey, it's not something, would hurt anybody, but as simple as, hey, if you change this number from here to here, it will save this much gas. or if you do it, like add here or delete this comment from here, add differently, it will, it's one thing audit guys are telling you, hey, delete this one, it's not correct. And with the Certik, what I liked, I mean, it's first description, and then comes a issue, implication, and the recommendation. There wasn't any major anything found there, but when you come to the point that, hey, when you tell me I'm doing something wrong, when you're explaining it, or it would be the better way to do it because of these new technologies, I mean, that helps a lot. First, confidence in the team that are auditing it, and you know that they're knowledgeable, and you are happy that they are knowledgeable, more knowledgeable than you are, and in technical details, and it worth the money you are paying. I mean, therefore, not everybody can afford what is the Certik is doing, but you do it only if you really care about your project and you want to make sure that everybody who's there is safe. I mean, I did personally, I want to sleep comfortably when I'm sleeping. So there's actively tracing on the skyboard. If something happens, somebody is going to see and can wake me up. Or I know that Certik guys are going to be the first. Larry's going to get up, wake up. Something is wrong.
That's it. Well, you see the bags underneath my eyes. I have been busy all night. Great dedication
with. Can you talk more about the Skynet? What is the Skynet? I mean, why you guys have, others doesn't have? What is the, for one person?
Sure. What
is the effect? How we can use it? If you have a chance, I can enable, you can share a screenshot if you can, if you are on the computer. If not, forget about it.
Oh yeah, but okay, I can do better than that. I can allow, first I'll explain everything, and but I can allow anyone that's here just to go on certik.org. You can go on and play with any
I will
of the.
share the screen in that case.
Sure.
To explain it, okay? And
all right,
we'll go Certik.
Well, let me give you some background to everyone first on why Skynet is so important. And for the audit, yes, you are getting a certification to let everyone know that you have a legitimized project. More importantly, first you get the certification, and the basic mechanics and the implementation of the token can be proven, and that it's within protocol for most exchanges. When you get an audit from us, as Turul explained, it's a lot more thorough, and it's a lot more of nitpicking compared to the standard audit. We also, yes, our audits are more expensive probably, but you have to look at what you're getting. You're not getting one engineer and a apprentice. You're getting 12 senior engineers on projects that are assigned on My6. So again, the audit is basically a tool for upward mobility in the market. You're getting a certification from us so that you can get listed on larger exchanges and get mass market acceptance and legitimacy to your project. But Skynet does so much more than that. Skynet actually has live security. What I mean by that is, so for example, Turul, if you can click on, I don't know, like Binance, for example, maybe, yeah. Or Pancake, either one. Okay. Binance, or yeah, just any one of those. Yeah, Pancake. And so you could see it says Skynet active on the upper right. And you see that their chart has a bunch of green candles, which is good. And their security ranking is very high. Pancake has about 10 to 15 Skynet deployments at any given time. If you scroll down, you'll see the standard things, the findings of their audit, but there, you will see a web graph dictating their strengths. What is this? Weaknesses.
For example, let's go section by section in order to come in to understand here it's the market cap as simple to understand. With my brain I can understand, but when I get into these parts I'm getting confused. So can you explain, like starting from
that basically that upper part with a small pie graph with the 9 findings, it just shows that what security findings were found in the audit at a quick glance. Also, there is a link to their PDF audit anyways, where it gives you a full rundown of how many audits, what issues were found, what the back and forth on the history was. It right there.
Mhm.
It gives a summary, an overview. It explains the mechanics of action on their token. It shows all of the issues, if they're resolved or not.
This is what I
And
was
for example,
talking, guys. I'm sorry for description. That's how it comes, and then the recommendation, and then if we fix it, and this part, it will be additional information they will provide. All this information we will have as well. Yeah, go
yeah.
ahead.
And if you scroll, so you have all of those scores that are assigned in real time. So the scores on the bottom next to the expanding web graph, those are social sentiment governance and security scores live, real time. See that upper part the tutorial showed you, showed everyone, was a score that was assigned at the time of the audit. But if you go below, these are all live scores on their project. And it shows governance, it shows market sentiment cap, general online security. It has all of those different focus points. If you keep going
This is
down,
very interesting. Like, can you tell what is this mean? This changes. This is live, and
yes, it's all live.
currently
So
there's
that's
41 issues detected out of the 400 vulnerability and user checks. But still, I am guessing these are not the major any issues that can.
oh no. Yeah, that's if it
You
becomes a
score.
major issue like that, someone like myself would be on the phone with you, Turl, saying, well, we have a major issue that we can take care of before it becomes a truly major issue live. So because of the reverse chain that we're running on Skynet, there is an amount of latency that's put between the actual live market impact and our ability to, for example, have a phone call and say, hey, can you have your engineers check this, or can you close this wallet, etc. Skynet's very important for that because it allows us even milliseconds are an eternity in DeFi space or in crypto space. So it allows you to have a lot of control over your security situation, but also what Skynet provides you in marketing is nothing that most marketing people can't do. They can't provide you live scrubbing metadata. It scrubs 24/7 on all social media as well. So if you look below, you have all of these tabs. I want you to look at those folder tabs. So, yep, it shows all the transaction history, how many holders. It gives all the information. Why is that important? Well, certain people that use certain exploits and flash loan attacks are able to use a modified timestamp protocol to allow their transaction information to be accepted just long enough until a negative transaction is performed. But with Skynet, even if it's just a light speed second, it will record the IP and wallet address. So yeah, a lot of hackers are not afraid of getting caught, but having their main exploit wallets or their augmented wallets that they do the exploits with is terrifying for them because it leaves us a forensic crumb trail back to who they are. So that is a huge deterrent to a lot of black hats on the market. I'm not saying that black hats don't try every day, that there's geniuses that do that, but it's a huge incentive not to try to do it. If you look at all of, you can see everything. It's totally
What is the
transparent.
governance part is a little bit more information on this one, short.
Yes, this government just shows the distribution of authority. For example, wallets, who's holding, who's not, and the ability to make it truly transparent in the form of like, okay, is the community actually involved in making decisions, or is the authority actually being used properly, rather than having a questionable centralized apparatus all the time. With Swapp protocol, for example, it wouldn't be an issue at all because part of the ethos of the product is that every individual has control over most of the utility of the token that they would use and their information. So in that respect, I think the governance score would be quite high for
And
any of the
also one
swap.
thing we changed and send it, we had, for example, a few of the deployer and then, even company holding wallets for holding as a wallet, we changed on base of your recommendation to multi-sig,
Sure.
which means like no
Yeah.
one person now has a
Yeah,
control over
Genosis.
anything.
Yep. Partial keys to a group of aggregate decision holders or decision makers. Yeah, so like we had talked a long time. You asked me about the Genosis version 2, and I said that we talked about. I remember in the early stage of our talking about your audit, we discussed several different wallets, and we came up to a solution even before we started the audit actually.
Yeah,
So
I was concerned
that's
about
how.
was going to
Yeah,
change.
I talked to. Yeah, we had talked about the centralization issue quite early, and the need for aggregated, expanded governance to the community and to the many different decision makers in the project. So, yeah, that's
Hear more about the people can see where token is listed, which exchanges, basically
yep.
is on Pancakes example, and then trading volume 24-hour aggregated. And can you tell about more all these exchanges that are here? That means Certik Shield will be on those exchanges.
Yes. So because you're on Skynet and because our major industry partners are the main exchanges, uh, it has a huge market impact because it allows visibility without you having to solicit any of the token trackers or main exchanges to see that your project is legitimate because it has an audit from us, but more importantly, they're scrubbing a metadata with us for potential projects. What I mean by that is a lot of their capital analysts and their investment analysts are scrubbing Skynet every day, to look at projects. And again, like for example, Binance or like even CMC, your information will come up that you have a Skynet audit, that you have Skynet attached to your project. The Skynet provides them open access to all of your activities. So that's one of the major requirements anyways to get listed on any of the larger exchanges. But also it puts your token in front of, would-be investors you may never have access to without having to solicit or pay for, certain marketing apparatus or fixers or, token trackers. You don't have to pay for any of that. Also, another thing is this information is available at your fingertips to anybody because, to be quite frankly honest, almost everyone that's in an investment chat or in a group chat is, oh, I'm a senior dev. I'm an experienced investor. I know everything about crypto. I was there in 2017 when ETH made me a millionaire. But then they freeze to go on a meeting and their mom is heating up them a burrito and they're in her basement. That's the reality. So instead of spending resources and valuable time, everyone can educate themselves via the Skynet because you have all of these buttons in front of you to play with. And it really is a good way for the community at large, for people that are honest and say, hey, I don't know much about cryptosphere, to educate themselves by looking at all the aggregated metadata. I mean, it's really just it's fun to sit there and play. And if you do it with competing tokens, you kind of get an idea of what you may need to improve or what changes you may need to improve, both on the media side, marketing side, and also the security side.
Absolutely. One of the things gives me assurance, like anytime I do my research on any token, first thing I check, are they on the Skynet or not? I come in, it makes my life so easy, like these exploit incidents, did these guys have any? Here you say they never had it. And then you go testnet deployment, how accurately they are deploying on the testnet, third-party interaction, explorer verification. This is scoring project based on source code, insurance protection and everything else, if they do have or not. And the open source code quality here, and the active maintenance, all these things is very important. Bug bounty, do they care any problems happens in their system? Do they reward who finds those vulnerabilities,
Yep.
documentation, security, trust.
That's
This is very
a good
important.
segue. That's a good segue, Turl, actually, into the last tab. So if you go all the way to the last tab, do you see how many engineers and black hats are on the active matrix right now? And they're all getting a bug bounty and pen testing bounty right now. It shows how many Certik tokens will award to each one, or what they're splitting for. All of those black hats are on there live right now, assigning and scrubbing.
Can
It
you
modulates.
a little bit more, explain a little bit more what this mean pancake?
Well, if you go to the far right and you look at all the little dots next to the center cube represents the source code, the security contract itself. Each one of those little dots is an anonymous engineer or a good guy black hat. They are running the pen testing and doing bug bounties live. It modulates who, when, and where, but you can see on the left there where Turl has his mouse cursor over, that they're actually splitting a bug bounty and actual real money to find out all these vulnerabilities. They're all senior engineers. We always have, so for right now, you can see on Pancake, they have 8 engineers assigned right now, or black hats. And they're actively trying to find bugs and exploits and everything real time, not just on our active matrix Oracle. They're using our Oracle and they are individually trying to find vulnerabilities on the smart contract itself. So it's a huge blanket of security, and all of my clients have Skynet, and I think even Jennifer can chime in on this. I often will tell projects.
Jennifer, this is your, which one was? This is your token, or?
That's their fault. Yeah, that's their token. Yeah.
Yeah, my token got hit just recently because we made some changes to our website and switched over our Telegram, one of our communities, without notifying Certik and the Oracle. So we are having to back up our governance, and it's been disappointing. It's been a lesson learned for me and my team, and Larry and his team are going to be helping me in establishing it, getting back up to where we were.
Well,
Go for it.
Let me explain a little bit about that. Even with the changes that happened, it was not her fault, actually. It's just people that decided to cancel their Telegram, and it affected their governance and their social governance. It's actually, you can't look at this security right now. It's just that ultra transparent. But even with these effects on the social sentiment score and the token's overall ratings, it's not really that bad, because you have to remember we have 42,000 projects on Skynet, and Jennifer's project's still in the top 1% of all our projects. So we have lots of scores that are 15, 20. So if you have an 80 and you can stay above a 80 percentile score, it's fine.
We were
and
well above 90. We were above 90. It was an error on my team. My core team made a decision split in the very late hours of the evening to change out some of the Twitter. They changed some of the handles. Then they also assessed it. They changed a little bit in the websites. And we did all of that. We canceled accounts. We definitely
they also canceled accounts without your knowledge.
True.
So
without my knowledge,
that looks very suspect in our social sentiment
and it
tracker.
did what it's supposed to do. I'm probably supposed to sit here and say, like, geez, Larry, what the heck is going on? But the truth is, from an investor standpoint, which I'm always going to say I was prior to being the CEO of VaultDeFi, is certainly, I'm happy to see that this works. This is what we pay for, Larry. So like, if it wasn't on my coin particularly, I might not feel as strongly about it, but this is exactly why I have Skynet on all of our tokens and why I use Certik. So you caught us, and we have to work back at getting it.
That is the trust where I even didn't know what happened there before I opened it, but that is the best thing out of what Certik can provide. I would be happy to see that, like, if anything, you see guys, going on, you change your social media accounts, you don't inform, and then they don't track it, system automatically recognizes it, and lowers your social sentiment score and everything else. And then that is nothing to do with the code or the system, but it is just a social sentiment. It means this system monitoring is really reliable and then it's effectively working. And
Yep.
Yeah, transparent third party. That's the what we provide. But I do want to add that for Safe Vault, they had one. They had what a lot of people don't know is they had a bad actor on their team that affected many parts of the project in the beginning. So actually, Jennifer, if you remember when Vault first came out, the score was even lower. But then you guys worked super hard to get it back up, and then you had some more. I don't want to call them assholes, but that's exactly what they are, assholes.
Yeah, no, it's
That
exactly what
affected
it
the
is.
project. So
It absolutely did
I know
exactly that.
it was lower in the beginning. It's
Yep.
it is
major
much higher
asshole
than I
language.
was looking.
It's
Then you
okay.
got-
I don't mind a challenge. Larry knows that. This is on me. I'm going to get this all back.
For
And it's
sure.
market sentiment. It's what I know. It's social scores. I can fix this.
Yeah.
I'll put the work in to fix it. It's just, it's actually, I'm okay that you actually are showing this to all of the people watching and listening tonight, because we're talking about security. It's incredibly
being
important
honest.
in DeFi,
Yeah,
and to know that you can establish a relationship with it. Yeah, exactly. We establish a relationship, and it's, we work hand in hand to make the investors confident in what we're doing, and acknowledging that this was an error on my team is okay with me.
Here's the big thing. Even with all that, all those shitty things that have happened, you still have a huge core of investors that's stuck, and it's growing. It's aggregated probably. I've watched it myself aggregate 5% up within the last 2 weeks. So that's a huge amount when you're talking about 15 to 20,000 holders and investors. So
exactly,
because you're so transparent, I think people understand that.
I mean, this is all
you have their
about
best interests
transparency.
involved.
We are human. Sometimes it's not depending on us or the team or even the CEO, founder. Something happens, somebody doesn't know, is not educated about, hey, when you change this kind of things, these are the things you have to do. Inform this authority or these guys that, hey, you are changing, and there has to be the process. Yeah, I have done a lot of mistakes on that angle, then trying to clean up and, to correct my own mistakes. And I definitely agree. And the worst project you're talking about, if the project is worse or how bad is the project is, you can go to different places. You will see a lot more scores that's close to 50%. And then they don't even have, except sentiment, any other information here. That's
because a lot of tokens are dead now from bad actors. So yeah, they're done.
Even this one, I really like today. I was looking at it, community alerts that which ones are or other things, and you can see a lot of things here.
And we will find out if they're confirmed. So if it has a red tab, that means it means that the information has been vetted by us independently to confirm the exploit.
Mm-hmm.
Or a flash loan attack, or etc.
If you click here, it says what happened exactly, exploited or flash loan attack, and they confirm before they put it here. $14 million worth assets rug pulled. Oh my God.
It's scary. Yeah.
Crazy.
That's not good. Okay.
No, it's not good for anyone. No.
But we're in the market of providing
even if I will try to do it, I burned all of the keys. I'm not getting it.
That's funny.
That's funny. I'm late.
Well, as a lot of people in the community and space knows, when I go on, like, for example, AMA chat rooms, where it's all voice, it's not much video, because a lot of the people in there don't want to dox themselves to the public. I have a meme that I pull out of myself with 2 knitting needles and a ball of yarn when people are talking crazy or it's something I don't feel good about, like they're preaching Jim Jones Kool-Aid, occult talk.
Unreal.
About I have myself with a ball of yarn and 2 knitting needles, and people ask me in the chat room, why did you post that picture of yourself for? It's because I feel like the person that's talking right now is knitting a rug right now. So that's the type of a security operator I am for our company. I'm not just a corporate officer. I'm also the on-surface security officer for the company. Yeah, I really hate that. So I'll bring out a ball of yarn and 2 knitting needles and let your whole community know that it's a rug in progress. So and then they disappear. They'll shut the chat down, and then they'll ask me later on, why blah 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 blah. I said, it's just you invited me on, and you didn't you wanted an audit from me, but I refused to give you an audit. So you wanted me to come on your AMA and give an explanation to your community why. Well, it's because I'm not going to attach my name to any thieves. I mean, I hate people that steal. I hate people that promise that they're going to keep liquidity and hold and lock liquidity. You have no question with Turtle's project. You're locking your shit for 3 months or 3 years.
3 years, yeah.
You're going to be able to grow, and you're going to be able to make money on your project. And this is just me speaking from as a neutral third party. Yeah, Turtle and Jennifer are friends to me in the industry, but again, we have shown exactly, like Jennifer's screenshot of her own token was there. And I know about Turtle's, a lot of people whine and bitch about 3 years, but 3 years of
I just did mine for one.
Exactly.
Impressive. Yeah, I just literally locked
gains.
again on Sunday, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, people, the utility of the token is where it's at. A lot of people think about, can I make 10 grand in the first 2 or 3 hours? That's a big deal for a lot of people. And let's make no mistake about it, people are in crypto to make money. But the utility offered and the freedom that's offered on Swapp is a big incentive. You get paid to be honest.
Unreal.
You get to have investments because you're being honest. Why I could not get behind a project like that to provide the security and the vetting for. So I mean, it's where I'm at in the space. And like I said, I only like good projects with good people. And what that means is, for example, all of us are fully doxed to the community. Now, maybe I don't know many of the people that I'm speaking to right now, but for sure, I don't have any problems or issues doing this. So because of that, the project's great.
Hours here as well, and I'm looking forward next couple days to finalize everything and start seeing hours what's going on here. Community can monitor and then be safe and feel safe.
Absolutely. It wasn't like Turtle was just like a kick the can guy. Hey, I have this fucking meme token. Now I want to give you $1,000 for this audit, and you're going to say everything is great and everything's hunky dory, and you're going to just give me a report that my engineers don't have to deal with. Nope, that's not what I do. Not at all. That's we make you work. It's not you just spending money. You're going to work too. And there's an old adage. It's alchemic exchange. Everything comes at a price. It's a law of equal exchange. But if you start with an honest product, you get honest results. So
absolutely,
that's what I want to reiterate.
Has to be the correct. If you don't have foundation of something is correct, and that you are getting into, if you start on the lie, you're gonna have a short-term, basically relationship. Everything,
Exactly.
You're gonna be really good liar, pathologically really good liar, in order to keep it track of every crap you are telling and making that each crap. Now, see, you understand what's the problem, where all these combinations and the permutations are going to. Each lie can create different things. Therefore, at one point, you are going to fail. And why to lie and try to waste my brain power and keep every day up at night when I can say even something bad happened, tell about the truth. That's all. That's a 1 minute. You're going to get all the solutions. Either you are fucked up, you're going to jail. What's also good. I don't like to be on the maybe land. Maybe I will squeeze this one around now. If it is white or black, there is no gray for me in the life. I mean, that's how it works in the things. Therefore, foundation of everything, if it is good, trustworthy, any project. If you don't have anything to hide, why wouldn't you put it on the Skynet? Why wouldn't put this one
It's the
or
truth.
others? Really? Unless you have something to hide. I mean, in that case, I understand.
Exactly.
That's your choice, but you gotta be very transparent with it.
Let me give you an example of that. And this is not something that a lot of people know. We have a main issue called the centralization score. It always comes up as a major finding. And it never gets resolved really, because even, for example, some of the large exchanges, I'm not going to say their names, but we monitor their security. They spend millions with us every month. And they say, we spend millions with you every month. Why can't you list the centralization risk as resolved? Well, I have to tell them that it's not about the smart contract itself. It's not about the code. It's about the risk of bad actors or bad human beings. It's a human portion of the project.
Yeah.
So when a huge
it's
company
a legal way of
that starts,
offering bribe.
exactly, it's their way of saying, I'm not going to say their names exactly, but buy, it starts with buy and ends with a vowel, right?
Okay.
But I'm just saying, I'm not bad mouthing them. They're a great industry partner. They really are trying their best, but you know, they harp on us all the time, and we are to the point where in transparency to where we just say, hey, we love to have your business. We love to have this continued partnership because of the scale, but we're not going to change what we're saying because you spend millions of dollars with us. You know,
Yeah, the
we are
day you
responsible
will
for the
change it,
community
you
at
will
large.
not be the Certik. The day you will
No,
do
no.
that, you're not going to be the Certik.
We have tremendous industry pressure. They do lots of crazy. All of our big partners do lots of try to leverage us to make the wrong choice, but we refuse to. It's in our credo not to. And I just want to give that to you as an example. I mean, maybe I'm shooting myself in the foot to tell everyone that, but that is the level of transparency and security that the founder of this protocol, Swapp, is willing to go out and do for you. That's why if we weren't on the same page, and even like even the Vault projects, they are in a mode of being 100% transparent and offering utility, not just a commoditized token, but the utility. For example, Turtle's whole premise for Swap Protocol is giving you control over the monetization of your data, of your metadata, you as a human being. And that's huge because people are stealing it every day. For what? You can watch this video for a second. You can get a $5 coupon so that everyone in the world can, excuse my language, know your fucking business every day. Yeah, it's amazing. It's like voodoo or magic, right? That is theft. So when you have a protocol and a token that's going to help you commoditize and take control of your data and lock into something that will give back to you, that's game changing. And all of the utilities, for example, the DApp and the banking, you go through his white paper, you'll see a lot of things that it will change the future.
Yeah,
I mean
those are
that.
the things
Yeah.
are not announced. You have seen, and feel free to talk about any of them. But the community, we are step by step announcing new products, what we are on the roadmap is coming. And with you as security audit, and as well as in order you to see the full picture, your team to see the full picture, we shared all that information that, hey, tomorrow if we bring or the build new, let's say as soonest one is the NFT marketplace or the app or wallet ID is coming, what is the effect of it here, how we can make it much secure. There was multiple times I annoyed you with my questions. Do you know any good wallet for the ID people who can check the code or the do before I send it to you for audit or anything else? But
it wasn't annoying. It's just being careful and doing your due diligence. Again, like I said, there's a difference when you're investing your money in a token that's a meme or it's funny or it's cool, right?
Yeah.
There's a shit ton of those on the market, right? But the thing about projects like Swap and Surge is they offer utility. They can explain to you exactly how they're going to make you money or how they're going to keep your money. Now it's anyone can make money in a second and then lose it in a second via the crypto sphere, especially in BNC and the DeFi, in ETH. Money goes by, like you'll see green candles and then you'll have zero when you wake up in the morning. That's just a reality. But you have a company like Swapp that has staying power because he's not just commoditized in conventional cryptocurrency. He's offering utility. That's actually the future of cryptosphere. You're more the fintech
Yes.
aspect of the business is being integrated into turning crypto token into a versatile vehicle investment apparatus. You're able to commoditize and keep or marginalize and fractionalize your investment based on your property, not anyone else's. The bank is not going to make money on your money for doing nothing and then charge you to use your money. There's not going to be a triple jeopardy. You have, full autonomous control over your future with these two very respectful products. And I'm not, like I said, I'm being totally transparent. There's risk in the market. You do what you do, but at least you can have a better idea. It's like if you know you're going to walk into a minefield, right? And have mines that you can't see, or you're going to walk into a minefield that has a flag on 90% of the mines. I'd much rather take the marked minefield than the unmarked minefield. So
Absolutely.
we're all grown-ups here. Just want to have that disclaimer,
Yeah, from the standpoint that any project, doesn't matter it's a swap or any, like the best of the best project, there's always human factor, there's always something, any factor that you cannot control, you cannot regulatory factor, and there's a lot of things that you have to consider before you are investing. You are investing,
exactly.
is basically beginning of this craze of the crypto decentralization. Yes, it is at the beginning. There are a lot of opportunities, but when there are a lot of opportunities, there are a lot of risks involved. I mean, it might, thanks to permissionless decentralization systems, most of those risks are getting basically dependent on. It is good because it's decentralized, but bad for the user or the person who doesn't have knowledge. I am really sorry for those users that doesn't have knowledge, but plus they don't educate themselves. I mean, they trust always, oh, you told me buy it, I want to buy it. No, you shouldn't be doing that. And you should be reading, doing your homework and research. When I invest in the tokens, I spend 4 hours on one token, on average, going through white paper, every profile of the founder team, if they list it. If not white paper, then go find the competitors. What other competitors are doing the better? What about they launched there? Who they forked? And what did they change in the fork? I have all the technical knowledge, not as you, Larry, or the developers. I have enough to write our own, white paper and the technical, all the, economics of this token. But when you get into the coding, and yes, I can read it, I can see the difference. But when you see that people are not changing anything, just copied and they changed the color and done. And even some places where they forked those names on the documentation stage, that moment is a red flag and get step back. I mean, that these guys are not for a long period here. Be careful, for example. And
well, here, not to interrupt, but you said something very maybe you don't know, but you surely get on the phone with me and ask if you don't know, or you ask other people. See, that's the mark of a person that understands crypto. If you put common sense, if you don't know, you just ask someone that may know, or they may be able to give you a different perspective, So
that is the beauty of the crypto industry right now. Everybody, and very helpful, willing to help.
Yes.
I have received a lot of requests and, hey, can you help me from the developers? Can we guys sit down and discuss some of the details, what you're doing, what we are doing, how we can improve? We don't know how to do it here. With open-hearted, I'm going to sit down and I'm giving all the best ideas I can. if I would be building that platform. Some of them, even sometimes my team is saying, why you are giving that idea to them? It's our competitor. I said, like, if they are more knowledgeable and the more you say, I mean, the guys who deserves it to push their ass down, do it properly, then let them to do it. I mean, it's just a start. Whoever, I have different core, he has different core. Okay, one feature, two feature, but it will definitely help him. But that's what I'm saying. Most people are willing to talk, help, Discord channels, communities, every place. You ask a question, even not the team, everybody else is going to jump on and direct you to the right direction. Therefore, it's just a willingness, like, am I willing,
Exactly.
do my research and then blame myself, or am I looking for the, cat's paw? And then when something goes wrong, oh shit, you told me that. You motherfucker, you have a brain.
Well,
shit and do your own research, and you're coming and blaming the person who starts at first blaming somebody else. You got to stay away from that person.
Well, you said something else very important too. You're talking about when you're researching a token or a potential investment. I want to let everyone in this AMA know that you can't get any more docs than this. 1,000,000% docs. You have the CEO and the founder of 2 huge projects, and myself with my bedhead.
You are the one keeping everybody online, right?
Well,
this is the right way to go. You're kind of Wikipedia calling Larry. Hey, Larry, there's this one, 2 options. Which one you go and why? And he's gonna spend 45 minutes solid explaining you why not or why. Like, which ones are good. Let me introduce you to these guys. That's how I got to know Jennifer. I mean, like, great connection. We had multiple calls and the discussions about our project, about their project. What I loved about the Jennifer's project, that's like totally different, a creative approach that she built with her team, is the, you basically recreating synthetic version and the wrapped version, pegged version of every token and adapting it. And that scalability after one point is going to be like skyrocketing, like basically, or there's a lot of different chains, and you bring from each chain, put your token, you get pegged token, exactly, let's say Cardano, Solana, you bring and put it there, you have pegged version, but all of them are interchangeable right now. Without having basically liquidity, you can create an exchange. That is the perfect scenario. Basically, what do you need? Anything else?
We remove the market maker doing it as well.
Much about I'm sure you're preparing your website, everything else is going to come up soon with a much more detailed explanation on those, since I know inside and out of your project mostly, and not once coming out, but once already out. And I can say, I mean, it's one of my favorite projects because it's creative and it eliminates a lot of things on the, when you are coming to the point that, hey, this project, liquidity comes to the problem. And how even that you are opening decks or any kind of vaults, okay, sustainability is the problem. Where is the sustainable? I can open 1 million vaults and then every token comes and gets in there. Okay, 6 months, 1 year, I can pay them with the swap token reward. What the hell is going to happen after 12 months? Where is the sustainability? Where are you earning? But in your project, it is really, fully considered all those things. I mean, the pegging and then letting them to use that token and then lending and borrowing parts of those generates really good rewards on those things. It's more.
It's exactly that.
More sustainable.
And don't forget to mention your guys' cross network and soon to be cross token cooperation. It's just going to expand the abilities of both your guys' investor base to. The nice thing about the
discussing it, bringing cross-platform vault basically pools So our
Allowing them to go.
users can benefit from their platforms, earn just going there, putting a swap in, their swap tokens earn token, and the same with the Vault users to come, holders, investors to come to swap.
The nice thing about the approach is it's going to give you three ways of adjusting to bearish and bullish markets. With a peg token, you can move back and forth. With your monetization of information, you have a continued income stream that's not affected by the exteriors of the token market. And then you have the combination of Jennifer's Launchpad and your DApp and your future banking apparatus. You can't get any more decentralized than that. You can be decentralized if you can be centralized when you need to be. You can cross commoditize a token to be bullish when it's one token is bullish, and if it's bearish, you can move it around, and you have all of the utility. You have all of the utility.
We didn't discuss it yet with the Jennifer, but I'm gonna take a liberty of telling that I am planning to
Build a blockchain.
If first, that's a second.
I love blockchain, Terrell. I'm waiting.
I know. To bring, like we have on our apps, have a DApp center. Basically, different dApps can be launched there to have exposure to our users. Want to just add the DeFi, VaultDeFi, basically there as well, so easily people can interact and check everything and utilize it. On the blockchain part, yes, that's a different story. We are going to work on that one together.
I'm excited.
I want to provide all the security for the fork of your chain. So,
so
you are going through the security.
I was excited to hear it.
Yeah,
I think it's a good launch for everyone involved.
Absolutely.
And
a lot of Jennifer, can you share do you have guys Telegram group on the
yeah we do. I'll drop it in your chat for you.
Drop in your chat so people who's attending can.
I'll give you our socials and stuff so people can follow us. But really appreciate what you guys were saying about our company, because it's rather unique. We certainly have different technology than most people out in blockchain currently. We're trying every day and striving as quickly as we can to decentralize from major markets. Let's see what we can do when we kind of keep our contracts and use them smart. Let's not have a market maker if we don't have to. Let's change the LP systems.
Yeah, absolutely. Keeping the LP system has a lot of limitations. Yes, liquidity providers are good. They are already providing those liquidities. There are a lot of all those are there. But having, if I had the token that is already on the one market, I can create the way. Let's say, instead of me launching Swapp on the Polygon and the Chronos and other place.
You don't have to.
If your vault system works the way that it is right now on the scalable model, I would bring my swap token there and peg it with your basically token. And that token pegged version, you can peg it there.
Peg it across.
The multiple chains. Now you have every chain's pegged version. Now I don't need to launch my own token, but at the same time, my token can be used on Polygon, on Chronos, every other place. That is the smart way. That is the future of your platform, where
that's exactly it.
When they will realize how to use it, and then how to come there and really fast scaling it up. As long as you have one liquidity on Uniswap and it's enough, and now it's expensive there. Now you come to this platform, you create a launchpad. Without providing liquidity, you can have your token in every freaking chain and can be used. I mean, that's the best part of that one, can be done from that standpoint. So
I wanted to add that Jennifer's current project is one of it's hard to make hyper deflationary token projects safe on the back end, but they have on the development side, and I've seen and I know the mechanism of action. It probably is in the top 1% of the safe hyper deflationary token projects, because there's so much transitory action. It's difficult to contain from sniping you know, a lot of the back end attacks or exploits that would happen. But I would have to say that they have been preemptive in the stage even of writing the source code to implement immediate changes and discretionary code to make sure that it prevents as much of the damage. And they've beta tested with a lot of scenarios live. They beta tested live. So it's a difference between if you're beta testing on testnet.
Like
And she's
Andrea,
beta on
she's
live.
testing on the prod, yeah. On production.
She had there are frogs waiting, you know, on the test, on the beta, but she betaed on live, and the frogs weren't able to come in and snipe from up top. So that's pretty promising.
Oh yeah.
We also just did our launch pad on Sunday, which is rather unique. It's the first ever launch to go off with the sole smart contract with no third party involved. So we were able to recoup. We went cross chain. We were able to restore and keep a good portion of the LP. As many of you know, if you go to launch a token, you have to provide the LP. We didn't lose it. So the third party usually keeps what doesn't get picked back up, which in our case on previous tokens was somewhere between 8 and 12% of our total liquidity. And we were able to do on the weekend something rather unique. So we're trying all the time to innovate with all different things.
I want to say something else too.
Tell more about that one. How did you launch? Which token did you guys launch first on your launchpad?
We just we brought the wrapped Bitcoin over, so a Vault Bitcoin token on Sunday, and we decided if we could, we were going to try and develop a different way to utilize smart contracts for launch. And the ones that we developed this weekend were able to do about 13 different requirements for the original investor to be able to push their seed money through. No faults, no failures. It was bot free. It has proxies in it. It has the ability to tell if it's a contract trying to purchase over rather a human element. Everything went really, really well, and we're really, really happy with it. I can talk a little bit more about it in a bit, Terrell, but we're working on some of it still.
Okay, you're not giving all the
I sold out in 38 seconds.
I tried.
I sold out in 30 seconds.
I need to say something.
Go for it.
I want the community to know that there's a lot of misinformation about Solana and Rust. Let me explain to you the complexities of going cross chain. Everyone talks about how Solana is foolproof because there's not enough people doing Rust. Well, I will have you know that I looked at 2 projects that we don't need audits because we're doing NFTs, and it's on a it's on a template that's been well proven. I'm not going to name them, but I will just tell you that they have begged me for audits now at any price. And I want to tell the investors and the stakeholders and the possible token holders that Rust is 2.5 times more expensive in both time and money to write code and understand the code and implement the code. So one unit of DeFi is equivalent, or one unit of Rust is equivalent to 2.5 units of labor and cost in standard DeFi in Solidity. So people always say, oh yeah, I have my Sol token, or I have the Sol NFT, or I have this in Rust, and it's impervious to attack. Well, I just saw 2 huge forks and 2 failed launches on NFTs, not even a commoditized token, NFTs, and they got sniped to death. One of them were saying, oh, we have a very secure cross-chain application, sniped and robbed to death. I mean, there was like a compounding soft pull, and all the NFTs going bye, all the rares gone. So I want to reiterate, there are 2 projects that are very popular in the Sol sphere. They're Sol related NFTs. They were previous conversations with me. But we were asked to reach out to you about security, but we really don't think we need it. Look at all of these other projects. But now they're back in our house and begging for their audits. And I'm happy to provide them because they have good intentions. But there's a saying that I want to reiterate: hard heads make a soft ass. If you don't want, listening is conducive to learning. If your head is that hard, your ass will get softened. So I want to tell you what Jennifer has done. Like I said, they invested a lot of time. 2 engineers just on implementing the proxies and the ability to identify exploits before they happen on the financial hacking side. Pretty impressive. And with the integration of her fintech knowledge, Yeah, like I said, both of these two people that you have in front of you, if you want to go into a minefield of making money, because there's, when you want to make money, there's some risk. You can go into a minefield where 90% of the mines are marked. But if you want to walk into a meme token that says, oh, we have 1 million followers from this influencer, it's going to adjust the price, but there's actual no market penetration because it's 1 million bots on YouTube. It's different. This is not a meme token. These are real people doing real things on their projects. So again, 1,000,000% doxed to their communities. We can't run anywhere, everyone knows who we are. So
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Maybe
welcome.
We're here almost hour and a half, 8 minutes. I will get questions from the community. Anybody has a question, just we'll take 3 questions. First 3 questions, whichever comes. Any questions, guys? Just type in the chat. Hachin, I know you have a question. Go ahead. Or let's do this way. I will enable you to talk instead of typing. Hachin, if you want to ask a question or anybody, raise your hand. Okay. Allowed to talk. Go ahead, Hachin.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Hey, hi everybody. Thank you guys for hanging out with us today. We well appreciate it. Okay, quick question. So, looking at what, at least from the United States point of view, at least in terms of the United States jurisdiction, now that we know that, well, the feds have come out with their statements and the SEC came out with theirs recently, how do we see, what are the options, what are the available options of, solidifying this ecosystem amongst other ecosystems, like let's say private equities and all the traditional things that we already have going on. What are the opportunities that we have right now going on in regards to how we can now have that simultaneous relationship moving forward, so that this is actually something for real now?
Well, I think I can kind of chime in on that because I've been dealing with the SEC for the last 2 days. In the regards to Swapp, the biggest, the hugest, advantage that Swapp has and Swapp only has is Swapp is going to allow their DApp and the rest of their monetization and some of their commoditized products to go into regular banking via Switzerland. He will attach everything to make it plug and play on an interface where the Swiss bank has all the right licenses and the ability to, I don't want to use term shelter because that's not the term. It's just to give you the right to make the choice to put your money in a jurisdiction.
Headquarters. I mean, that we are moving to their headquarters from another European country. It's basically not a shelter. We, as you said, it's going to be.
It just gives you the choice. It gives you the choice to go to a jurisdiction that is accepted by everyone, and they have their eminent domain on allowing you to have to make financial decisions from that jurisdiction. So, to answer your question, I said that's one approach, but also Turo has been responsible and proactive in being totally transparent to the rest of the world. He has his license and his incorporation in Estonia, for example, and he will go to Switzerland for the banking apparatus. So to answer your questions, if you cross commoditize or move a lot of it sounds like you're heavily vested in Swapp anyway. So I think you have a lot less to worry about than the average Joe Schmo in crypto right now. So
Thank you.
All right, thanks. Anybody else?
You're welcome.
Any question?
Let me add that that costs a shit ton of money to do. So hats off to Turtle for looking out for everyone and providing a model that everyone can follow to give you the choice of freedom. That's a shit ton of money. So
Just imagine.
It's so smart.
I don't want to call the price of the audit you guys are providing.
Lots of zeros.
Lots
of zeros.
But a lot
Lots
of zeros, and then multiply to 13 or 12 all the smart contracts that we have built, and plus Skynet.
8,000 lines. 8,000 lines.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's worth it though, every penny.
Oh yeah, I know it's worth it.
It's worth it for every penny.
I even didn't think, like, should I pay or shouldn't I pay? That was from the beginning. I said, like, when we're talking, I said, I need just, if you need more money to be paid, much more thorough audit, I will pay it. And just tell me if you have that service. He said, no, we are doing all of them thorough. And then all of these are going to be in details. Okay, Andrew is asking questions.
Andrew, yeah, let me answer that question, Andrew. There's a you talk about big companies. How about we talk about?
Do you think
Andrew
big
Rosen.
companies? Yeah. Do you think big companies, such as the NFL or the governments, will create their own cryptocurrencies, and how will that affect other players in the space? So others to see.
China already has.
Yeah,
China has digital yuan. So China actually did this 5 years ago. They're the front runners of data-driven currency and monetization. So China has recently effectuated law to ban cryptocurrency exchange, mining, et cetera, not because they're being socially responsible, mind you, but to soften up the liquidity pool or potential LP domestically for the launch of their digital yuan.
Crazy.
And it was the Bank of China and the Chinese government's intention. This is their statement verbatim, that we want to have digital yuan be able to compete one-to-one with, for example, Bitcoin and USDT, USDC in utility and usage and mass adaptation. They are specifically targeting Bitcoin because their market volume, and USDT based on their utility as a one-for-one against the US dollar. So it can be a huge factor.
I have one opinion on that one that I even tweeted about it. Nobody basically didn't get that much attention, but I think CBDCs, central bank digital currency, are really useless from the standpoint that if it will be governed the same way as the current government currencies are governed, basically printing whenever they want, whatever they want, and it will lose the meaning of the decentralized, basically digital currency. And why government's not taking over, not being an independent party, and trying to control and tax appropriately and empower other platforms in order to increase the value of the non-digital assets they have. Okay, if government tomorrow, as US government did, print 2/3 of the total supply during COVID, what will stop them minting? It's even cheaper. Click couple buttons, and then you printed another like bunch of supply. What is that? Are they looking for another question is are those going to be the transparent blockchain, or it's going to be closed loop? Basically, nobody knows what's going on in the ledger, and then now it's not a digital currency. You just created a rewarding system in the games that games are giving you. You can buy 15,000 stars for $50, or that's well, if it is open, then are we going to see all the corruption? Who's paying who?
Yeah, it's going to be closed. It definitely will be closed loop. And the example that I would cite for that is, the original intention of Bitcoin and even ETH was to be totally decentralized. But as we know, you can't actually get the surface commodity or the physical commodity or the monetizable, usable commodity on mass market without centralization. So anyone that tells you that any of the cryptocurrencies or things that we're doing are totally decentralized is not quite being honest. The fact of the matter is centralized banking is too far forward on printing money to totally adapt and change quick enough. It'd be a catastrophic failure for them. So what are they doing now is NFTs as a whole is a strategy to remove the inabilities of a token and use all of the abilities of an NFT as a utility to be a vehicle for token, physical property. Now, mass media in the US are wanting not to be able to use NFT. So a few people I know have tried to do press releases and articles on AP. Associated Press does not want to take NFT. So that's
Really?
something that many of you may not know. This has just happened, and it's a direct reflection of the SEC's actions in the last 2 days. Yeah, I was too tired to explain that to you yesterday. That the Associated Press does not want anything attached to the term NFT.
NFT, non-fungible.
Because by law it's too complicated to undo for the powers that be. So they're removing information. But if you use the term non-fungible token, then they're okay with it because they still need to make money, right? Because they know that most of the masses don't actually know what a non-fungible token is. Just like, yeah, they don't know what an LP is. They don't know what a node is. But like, again, everyone's a senior dev and everyone's a senior fintech expert. So they can tell me all these things, right? But and everyone knows what NFT means. And right now in the mass market, NFT means money. So that I hope that answered a few of the panelists' questions. It is definitely going to be closed loop until something drastic happens to where people as a whole are holding. I have to be careful of how I make these statements. Holds policymakers responsible for thievery or for taking your choice away.
Let's get one question. Ryan is waiting. Ryan, here you go. Go ahead, ask your question, please.
Thank you, guys. Please bear with my voice. I was screaming like a maniac at a football game all weekend. So.
Oh, awesome, man! That's great.
Barely got a voice left. So first of all, Turl, I want to thank you for spending a shitload of money because I'm an early investor in Swapp.
I love it.
Yeah.
So I really do appreciate that, the diligence and the attention to detail, and appreciate all three of you guys. I've been on since the beginning. It's a fantastic conversation. I've learned a shitload. So what I wanted to ask you guys, is it safe to assume, I guess, Larry, this might be more to you. Is it safe to assume that when you're saying that, you're going through the code, you're looking at it real time, you're giving recommendations on tweaks and things that could be done to line of code? We all know in the swap world, sometimes we get to claim and we want to restake and do our things. And sometimes, the gas fees are just, I call it gas rape. I might trademark that.
Yeah, but, gas rape is real.
Some of it's insane. Yeah.
So is it safe to assume that what you're doing then and what you're saying, because I heard it earlier, that, tweaking the code and doing these things, because I've always been under the assumption that it was congestion that was always the reason.
No. Well, there's some of the network, that will cause a congestion. You know how much computing strength you have. But again, as me and Turtle described in the beginning, my team gave him a lot of suggestions on how to reduce the gas costs. It was an immediate thing that Turtle looked at. And how does that reflect to you guys, back to you guys? Well, more positive reflections, more money back in your pocket rather than, oh, there's some more money going away in a burn because of the gas. So Ryan, to go back to that, our audit is there to also optimize a mechanism of action and to make the transitory costs as affordable as possible, right? But I want to also reiterate that safety comes at a cost. So some multi-signature wallets and some open Zeppelin functions, maybe a lot of you guys don't know what that is, but I would just tell you that everything comes at a cost. There's an alchemic exchange. So the security at times will increase the burn or the gas fees. But as far as like the standard, the smart contract itself, we've done everything in our power and in line with Turtle's engineers to reduce the gas costs to you guys.
is there anything you could give us? Like, is there a percentage where you could say like, hey, if we do this, this, and this,
it's
we could
hard.
reduce
It's
by
hard to
20%?
scale. Well, I can't describe everything because, you know, that's some of our, that's why I pay my engineers, you know, that's, and that's privy. You can look in the report and the audit for some of that. But like, I couldn't tell you what Turtle's engineers and what my engineers are doing. That'd be like a kick in the dick for us, you know. They're paying their student loans back based on working for me, so I'd be doing them a disservice. But I would say, for sure, the gas burn has been reduced by at least 15%. I will guarantee that, and it's from small detail things. And Turtle's looked over thoroughly, and yeah, his engineers as well. So at least 15%. That's massive when you're doing. And to also answer your question, I can't give you an exact feedback because every transaction scale is different. You know, you can have one guy that's burning 2 tokens and a guy that's burning 1 million tokens. So, you know, the transitory cost and also how much computing power do you have on your end when you're doing these transactions and you're adjusting slope. I can't give a direct factor on those variables.
I will chime in on that one thing. The gas fees that were recommended, we changed, is more related to breach when people are moving the tokens from one chain to another chain rather than the staking, because staking we didn't have that much on the, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, only one place we had you know, on the front end calculation part, we changed it. But overall, most of those recommendations were about the breach and the upcoming those tokens.
Yeah.
I believe Ryan is asking about when you stake, unstake to the swap pool or other pools, that is the interaction with the main net and the smart contract. Those are basically, we didn't have any comments on that one because all those are what
I was going to tell you
is offering you directly while you are staking.
The 15% savings on that, what I'm going to is from your first revision to your second revision, because you guys made revision. So that's what I'm saying is our engineers looked and saw that that you guys made some pretty significant changes during the evolution of the source code.
Everything you said as much as
possible. So 15% right there, Ryan. But also, yeah, as Turtle talked about across the bridge and any of the utility, yeah, we've optimized the gas costs. But like, again, there's variables like how much computing power you have on your end during transaction slope and the amount of the transaction. Those are hard. That's different for every individual. So
understand
mileage may vary. As it's on YouTube, mileage may vary. So
sounds good. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys.
For a question. Let me get another question here, and we're finished for the night. Andrew, you're here. Here we go. Andrew is our Chief Partnership Officer, and
hello, Larry. How are you?
You still have a question?
Who is this? Oh, hello.
Andrew.
How are you?
Andrew, how are you, sir?
I've got a question for you, and it actually came up today on a call I was on, so I sort of want your opinion on this. So if you have an NFT out there and you allow the purchaser of the NFT to either have a revenue share model or participate on the profits from the licensing of the NFT that they've purchased, do you think the US, the SEC is going to step in and think it's a security?
Well, I think it depends on how you package it. So that's what we were talking about earlier is fractionalizing and speculating on NFT. If you're fractionalizing the profit potential or the speculative investment potential of the NFT, then if it's just if you give, well, first I would maybe move jurisdictions so you have more flexibility. So if you go to an Estonia or a Malta, or you go to a Texas or a Wyoming to base your project, you have the first 25% of the difficulties out of the way, because the state's going to do whatever they can do to protect, if you go to Wyoming or Texas, to protect some of your rights on how you interpret. The second part is if you have the right legal team, an explanation of the NFT that you're, like, example, providing maybe insurance rather than a speculative investment against a fractionalization of the potential value of the NFT, that you're just taking a loan of an investment loan. For example, you're just taking some equity. I don't know how it could be equated to a security then if you're just taking a loan against an NFT. Does that make sense to you, Andrew?
I'll give you a real, sort of cut you off. I'll give you a real world example. So this is a very well-known NFT artist who's based in San Diego. They have tens of millions of dollars of sales. And they were going to do a very specific release of a few NFTs and then create a tangible asset of that NFT and then possibly make smaller versions of that larger asset.
Prints.
Whoever owned the larger asset could then have X amount of participation in, let's call it prints or dolls or whatever that largely mass-produced item might be.
Well, I think I know who you're talking about, and here's a solution that I thought of. Tell the SEC to fuck off. I'm making prints. And what do we do with prints? We charge sales tax, and you get fucking 8 cents on the dollar and fuck off. There you go. Very simple. How you can't be a securities or commodity then. It's like if you told someone, hey, I have a 30% stake in Upper Deck baseball cards or Topps baseball cards, and Beckett says the price of these fucking baseball cards is going up. Oh, it's a security now. I need to go ahead and charge you capital gains and a communities tax. Fuck you guys. Go fuck off and die.
Sorry, Larry.
Just tell them we will pay sales tax.
I'm just taking notes. I want to make sure I'm right. So it's SEC fuck off, right? Is that what?
Yeah.
Well,
Simple.
I would tell, yeah, I think that it's you can't really if that's their explanation for an NFT. I mean, it's just if you're going to make a tangible asset and create a print to help attach a tangible asset to the fractionalization of the NFT, then let's just pay sales tax. Some will gladly give you a ledger where each print has an assigned value, and it's assigned value. It's not a speculative. It's just an assigned value, and we'll pay sales tax on every dollar. No problem.
Exactly. I mean, depends on how creative you get, and besides the creativity, I mean, if you are saying this is the NFT is stock or the security or something just will increase in the value, you gotta stop. You just fucked up a lot of sales from marbles and other, companies that certifies all these memorabilia and sells everybody and collectibles. Now, why they are not secure to them?
Yeah, let me give you a good example of that too. They're picking and choosing. SEC's fucking picking and choosing. Metaverse has an exclusive contract with Marvel where they have soldiers of the metaverse that are Marvel NFTs. No one is approaching them or asking them for, hey, we need a sale list, a name list. We need you to give us more information on these people. Yeah, like if it's a Disney or fucking Marvel NFT, no one cares, right?
No, you're right.
But if it's a famous independent artist and you guys are fractionalizing this commodity, just tell them we're giving them an actual representation of their physical asset. It's a printed piece of fucking paper, and you can collect 8 cents all day on every dollar that it's worth. We will give you a ledger. We will pay you. I will write you the check for $40 right now for the 10 NFTs we sold.
Exactly. I mean, it's about the good lawyer. I mean, how it will phrase and how, knowledgeable person. And I have seen and know people that won the cases against the way that you would never imagine, just because the attorney was the really good attorney. And it was the first time in the history in his area that happened. And he came out, they went back home empty-handed. Again, this is very gray area until they come up with the solid security laws around it and defining what NFT, in which cases, in what kind of characteristics it will have in order it to be commodity or the security, and then they're going to get in the, you know, head to head with FTC, said, hey, no, this is the commodity. They're going to say it's a security. So which one is going to control it? So we
And
have
let
a
me,
lot of time until they figure out there in between which one is which. And therefore,
and let me make a disclaimer. My talking to the SEC is just my colorful opinion. So I'm just you know, giving a colorful solution based on my prior experience in legalese. So yeah, they can just pay sales tax. That's it.
yeah,
Tell them we're willing to give you the 8 cents on your dollar.
We'll give
No
it to
problem.
yeah, that's not a problem. We're already paying.
I think
Yeah.
it's-
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. I really appreciate the for time and coming here. Thanks a lot. And you know, if anything you want to add at the end, Larry, Jennifer, we will be happy to host again with your community at Jennifer with the VaultDeFi community and discuss different topics.
Yeah.
Details.
I was actually just
For
going to
sure.
say with you, if you're interested in maybe hanging out one night in spaces, I don't know if you do that anytime, but I have a very large audience of people who would be super interested in just hearing the conversation we've had tonight. Yeah.
Daily basis we do spaces, and then Tuesdays we have a spotlight. Basically, I bring several famous people or the people experts in the area. We talk about the different discussion. Last week was the chairman of the Digibyte, and we had a discussion with them. Dimitri had a discussion, you know, interview with him. And this week is second. Then next week we have other people on Tuesdays coming, those webinars. But rest daily AMAs we do on Spaces on Twitter. I would love to one of those days and announce yours and be on your, you know.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, thank you for having me tonight. Really
Hi.
appreciate it, guys.
Thank you. I appreciate it for coming and for your time. Thank you very much, Larry. It was great.
Oh, you're welcome.
Always is.
Thanks for coming.
And, Andrew, did that answer your question though, or did it give you some different insight? I don't know if you're still there or not. Probably not, maybe.
Yes.
Oh, okay, great, Andrew.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you very much, everyone. I appreciate it. This meeting recorded. We'll share later with the community. Whoever didn't watch it, they can watch and learn more.